So I was fired from Arby's for allowing children to go home early before it got too late.
Hey guys, so millions of people lose their jobs every year, but behind every statistic is a real person. So I've put the videos together. Let's listen. We'll shortly be back for the reviews.
So I was fired from Arby's for allowing children to go home early before it got too late. If you hadn't seen my initial video, there was three main reasons why I was fired as a manager from Arby's, specifically store 6292 in South Carolina yesterday. And one of them, out of the three reasons, is so crazy you're going to bite your tongue. I allowed 15 and 16-year-olds to go home when they were done with their job. As a manager, sometimes I wouldn't leave till almost 11:15, 11:30, depending on how far behind I was. So when a 16 or 15-year-old is done with their job, I'm going to let them go home. And typically the 15 and 16-year-olds at the store, who make up like half of our employees, run the drive-through and the front counter. They're cashiers. Their closing duties consist of sweeping, mopping, stocking, and cleaning the tea urns. When you're done, there's nothing else to really do. They can't clean the meat slicer there. South Carolina law, you have to be 18 or older. That's my responsibility if I don't have a backliner who's of age. And most nights I don't. They also can't count down the registers. That's my responsibility. They can't count down the safe or do the inventory. That's both my responsibility. So when these kids are done, especially when their parents are outside waiting, even though store policy says we're all supposed to leave together, no. This child has school tomorrow. I'm going to let them go home. That's one reason why I was fired. Check out number two. Number two actually consists of two separate incidents. And mind you, I wasn't even working there for a full 7 weeks. Reason number two is because I apparently made people feel like it was a hostile work environment. Hear me out. Incident number one was in regards to a 40-year-old male backliner who works there. And before I go any further, it's very important to note, he would approach some of the minors there and be a little too friendly, and he was also caught trying to sell a green leafy smokable substance that, yes, many restaurant workers consume, but to minors. He's like 40. He's older than me. Just remember that. But one night, mind you, I'm supposed to be being retrained. I'm supposed to get a retraining period. That never happened. I accidentally handed out the wrong sandwich, and he's known for running his mouth. He's known for cursing. And I had to ask him to remake a beef and cheddar double. He got so mad, started yelling, but he didn't think I could hear him because he thought I was in my office, but turns out I was in the drive-thru, and he said some things about me, so I turned the corner and, I did say, I'm usually a professional guy. I said, "What the fuck did you say?" "No, you can say it to me right now, man to man." He turned his head down and went back to what he normally does, which is texting and doing the bare minimum, but that's situation one that made the employees feel like it's a hostile environment. But check this out. And incident number two in regards to reason number two, making it a hostile work environment. One night I was working. I only had two crew members, both female, one 36, the other 15. The 15-year-old's working the drive-thru. Some jackass in a squatted, jacked up truck, around 20 or 21 years of age, slim, white, maybe 5'10" if he stood up, no facial hair, came through the drive-thru. I had my headset on as well, and as the 15-year-old's taking his order, he said, "Hey, I know y'all are Arby's and you got the meats. Can I give you a bag of dicks?" or some stupid shit like that. I got on the headset and said, "Hey man, I have a minor working here. Respectfully, if you're not going to order food, get the fuck out of my drive-thru." I said that, I was upset. To his credit, he said, "All right, I'll see you at the window." And he waited like 13 minutes. We were busy. I figured he pulled off. He eventually gets to the window. The 15-year-old opens the window, tries to confirm the order via the screen, and he cuts her off, and he says, "No, but I got this for you." Mind you, my daughter was also there that night, and here's the screenshot proving that I asked my boss if she could come with me. So I went a little berserk. I intervened, and I said, "If you don't get the fuck out of my drive-thru, I'm going to come beat the fuck out of you in front of everybody." He said, "All right, come do it." So I went out the side door, he peeled tires and took off. The next day, I actually got reprimanded for that. My GM told me I should have killed him with kindness instead of being rude. A fucking predator. But here's reason number three. They accused me of stealing 20 pounds of roast beef because I worked out. Yeah, that was the main reasoning my GM actually thought I could have been guilty. Long story short, One Sunday through Wednesday, I noticed 2 pounds. I'm the closing manager. I do inventory every night. I noticed 3 pounds of roast beef missing consistently every night. And again, it goes back to because my GM said, well, it only happened on your shift and you work out. By the way, I know who took it at this point, just so y'all are aware. It definitely wasn't me. I don't even eat roast beef like that. I'm a chicken, veggies, and rice kind of guy. Or like chimichangas and Mexican. Like, Arby's roast beef isn't even real roast beef. Like, y'all thought it was a real roast. No, dude, it's paste that's thrown into an oven. I'm not going to eat that on a regular basis. But yeah, they made me sign that document, and if I didn't, I would have been fired. That's extortion. Didn't prove it was me. Don't know what the fuck happened to it at all. I actually recorded all the incidents. If I'm stealing it, I'm going to fudge the numbers and make it look like it's there. It's not that fucking hard. Excuse my cussing again. But you still forced me to sign a document or fire me and take almost $100 out of my pay. That's illegal. Oh, and they also said I was threatening the operations manager, which is the GM's boss, my boss's boss, because after forcing me to sign a document, I wanted to talk to her boss, which ironically enough was the guy who ran my background check, interviewed me, and hired me back. And he was nowhere to be found, so I kind of made a joke saying, maybe he's scared to talk to me. And it was literally a joke, but that was enough for another shift manager who heard me say that to approach my GM saying that I was threatening the operations manager. Maybe he was. I still have yet to hear from him. But yeah, I was fired for all this.
Hey y'all. So I'm letting y'all in my business a little bit, and it's only for my purposes only, literally. So I got fired today from my job, literally. And I feel like, I ain't gonna lie, I did cry. I have been crying because I'm like, damn, like, this is a great worker. But the only reason why I honestly feel like I'm not so upset about it is because I literally got fired for being on social media. And I'd rather get fired for something that means something to me, because I love what I like. I'm good at social media. I love being on social media. Like, I love making content. Like, that's something that I love doing. And so I'd rather be fired for something that, you know, is meaningful than like getting fired over something, whatever. But, you know, and honestly, I'm taking it as a sign. I feel like what bigger sign could God give me that I need to take social media more serious than getting me fired, like making me lose my job, like for being on social media though. So I'm not upset. I am a little hurt because I love that job. Like, ask anybody. One thing I'm not going to sit here and do and act like I had a terrible job or anything like that. I had a great job, great benefits, great people. Other than that, like, overall, it's a great job. But I just feel like everything happens for a reason. And I may not totally understand the reason right now, but it's a reason behind it. I know I'm going to be good. Like, financially, I'm going to be straight. I mean, I'm definitely going to get out here and look for a job if this isn't going to take off, because I'm not just going to sit and not do anything. But yeah, like, what other sign could he give me besides, hey, yeah, you're not going to work for these people anymore? So that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm going to take it. You know, it is what it is. I know that as long as I have faith and I believe that God is going to carry me through, he always does, and he will. So yeah, y'all need to start liking, commenting, and doing all this other stuff, following whatever, so we can start making some coins on here, because I am definitely jobless right now, but everything's going to be okay.
I just got fired today from a company that I've been with for over 9 years for having too much overtime. My previous boss told us she didn't care how much overtime we worked because the pay was shitty. She knew that. She pushed for us to get raises, promotions. The company wouldn't do it. So she said she didn't care, that we could work overtime whenever we wanted to. So I took her up on that, and I worked overtime. Well, she ultimately got moved to another department, and we got new bosses hired from outside the company. Again, Nothing was said. I continued to work overtime. Nobody said anything to me the whole time. My timesheets were being approved. Nobody said it was a problem. I did this for 2 years. Hired me, said that I abused the system, that I made over $30,000 in overtime, and that they could charge me with a felony if they wanted to, but they won't. Why wasn't it addressed before? The managers are supposed to approve the timesheets. If the managers don't approve the timesheets, then they go to payroll to approve. They were being approved. I don't understand why I'm being punished because somebody either wasn't looking at the timesheets or approved it and they weren't supposed to. Maybe that should have been a conversation that they had with me, but nobody had a conversation with me. Nothing was said. It was brought to my attention a couple of months ago when our previous boss moved department and our other bosses stepped in. Then we were told that we were no longer to work overtime. Okay, fine. Didn't work any more overtime after that. I have my performance review today, and I'm fired for having too much overtime. So now I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have a child. I have a teenage daughter. I'm a single parent. You know, I have a little money in my savings account, but let's face it, we're all just a few paychecks away from being homeless. I don't want to be living in a fucking car in a month because I can't find a job. I've taken so much pride in being independent and having my finances on track. And I mean, I'm not rich or well-to-do by any means. I still live paycheck to paycheck, but you know, I've been trying to save for a house for so long, and every time I turn around, something happens, and I just feel like I'm never gonna get there. And I'm so tired of struggling. I'm so tired of fucking struggling all the time and not having anything to show for it. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I just updated my resume not long ago because I was, you know, I've been wanting to find another job anyways, but not like this. And I just feel like with everything going on right now, like this was like the cherry on top, you know, like I don't even want to ask the question, you know, because I don't want to answer, but it's like, how much worse can things get, you know, like our country's falling apart, like everything is so shitty right now, and now on top of it, like I don't have a fucking job, and like I know there's so many people out there right now who are in the same boat and who have been in the same boat and who are worse off, and I feel for them, and like I'm just scared. I'm so scared. I'm probably gonna have to get back on public assistance after like over 10 years, like having to be back on food stamps and Medicaid. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what those programs are for, but like I don't want to have to be dependent on them right now, you know? I guess I have to apply for unemployment. Like, I just have so much stuff going on in my head right now, like all the things I have to do, and I feel very overwhelmed, and like I just want somebody to tell me it's gonna be okay and like help me navigate this, because I'm freaking out a little bit.
Y'all, I literally got fired from my job.
Very scary happens to many workers today. People are losing their jobs overnight with no time to prepare. One day they are working normally, talking to co-workers, making plans and thinking about the future. The next day everything is gone. No warning, no meeting, no explain, no chance to save money. First, just a sudden message saying their job is over. For many people, it feels like their whole life changed in one moment. Some workers wake up early, get ready for work, and try to log in their computers, but the password no longer works. Others arrive at the office. Security tells them they cannot enter anymore. Some receive an email late at night saying their position has been eliminated. Imagine going to sleep thinking tomorrow will be a normal day, then waking up to discover you no longer have income. That shock can feel overwhelming and confusing. Many of these workers did nothing wrong. They worked hard, they followed rules, they showed up every day. Some even stayed up late to finish tasks and help their teams. They trusted their company and believed their job was safe. But sometimes companies make decisions based on money, profit, and changes. In the business, when that happens, employees can lose their jobs even if they were doing everything right. The hardest part for many people is the lack of time to prepare. If someone knows they might lose their job, they can start saving money, searching for new work, or making a backup plan. But when layoff happen, suddenly there is no time for any of that. Bills do not stop, rent is due, food still needs to be bought, families still depend on that income. Fear starts to grow very quickly. For workers who live paycheck to paycheck, losing one salary can create immediate panic. Paycheck to paycheck means they spend most of their money on living costs each month, so there is little or nothing left over. Without savings, even a short period without income can be dangerous. People begin worrying about electricity being cut off, rent being unpaid, or not having enough food at home. Families feel the impact too. Parents may worry about how to provide for their children. Some try to hide their stress so their kids will not feel scared. Others start looking for any job they can find, even if it pays less or it's very difficult. The pressure to protect loved ones can feel heavy, especially when the future is uncertain. Painful part is losing routine and purpose. Work is not just about money, it gives structure to a day and a sense of identity. Many people feel proud of what they do when that suddenly disappears. Days can feel empty and confusing. Some workers say they feel lost, like they do not know what to do with themselves anymore. The emotional impact can be very strong. People may feel sadness, anger, embarrassment, or fear at once. Some blame themselves, even though it was not their fault. Others feel betrayed, especially if they worked at the company for many years. Being told you are no longer needed can hurt deeply, even when the decision is not personal. Losing a job overnight is not just a financial problem. It is an emotional storm that affects confidence, identity, and peace of mind, but it does not define a person's value or potential. A job can disappear, but skills, experience, and determination remains.